Hope everybody's doing well. Starting with our win over Marshall, really proud of the team and our staff. You know, coming off of emotional, tough loss the week prior, I thought our team and staff showed great resolve and fought with each other, for each other. Reloaded our spirit and went to work and beat a very good football team. You know, and I thought it was a really good game. You know, it was a team win, and that was the biggest thing we wanted to see was offense, defense, special teams, and the energy of our sideline working together. And obviously there were certain times that one side was doing better than the other, and the other side would pick that side up. But good teams find a way to win, and it was great to see complementary football throughout the game. Momentum swung both ways multiple times. We were down multiple times in the game, and the guys just kept playing. And was proud of them for that. When you lose a game like we did the week before, you know, you could say it was fragile. You know, after that game, guys were really upset. And just proud of Peyton Wilson for bringing the team together in the locker room. He's a great leader and saying some really good things. And then the guys responding. I was impressed with Marshall. I think their coach has done a great job. Undefeated team, obviously, coming in, team that had already beaten Virginia Tech. But they're a sound football team. They have good players. So it took, you know, a great effort on our part. I thought you got to see a lot of complimentary 11-man football, some great individual play as well, ending with an onside kick recovery from Chris Tootle, which I thought was a great play by Chris. Offensively, we were very explosive in the game. I think that was a huge factor, 11 explosive plays. You know, individually, Trent Penix obviously had a great game. KC, Michael Allen had an explosive run. Delbert had an explosive run. Terrell Timmons had an explosive reception. So a bunch of good plays there to spark us at needed times. We were 4-4 in the red zone. I thought, you know, MJ had a tough start and then responded really well, threw some great balls, a couple under pressure, and it was very accurate after that first couple series. You know, the negatives on offense, obviously turning the ball over 3 times. It's hard to win games doing that, and you don't win a lot of games with 3 turnovers. So something we have to do better, particularly getting ready for this next game this week. 2 holding penalties that we could prevent with technique. You know, on defense, played a lot of snaps, you know, 94 snaps, 18 possessions. We had 3 takeaways. Had 7 3-and-outs. I thought our sudden change response, which is what we call when we go out there on a short field after turnovers, or they had 1 good kick return. We had 2 poor kickoffs that led to some poor field position for our defense. Thought they responded really well in those tough situations. Had 6 sacks. Took out their tailback run game, which was a big part of what they were doing well. Their quarterback, I thought, played well. We gave up too many explosive plays in the pass game in that game, and so something we need to work on, you know, just playing tighter coverage. But negatives on defense, like I said, the explosive plays and 97 plays, there's going to be some things that happen, but we missed a few more tackles than we'd like to see. You know, on special teams, I think our return game has been exceptional all year. You know, Jalen Coit had 3 returns over 10 yards. Keon Lassane did a great job on that first kickoff return to get us field position across the 50, and it was well blocked and a tremendous effort by Julian Gray to lead him around the edge of that thing. You know, our kicker, Braden, has done a nice job. He was 2 for 2, and then Caden Noonkester, you know, had his first career shank, hopefully his last, but was really impressed with how he responded. You know, and then at the end of the game, we needed a big punt. He gave us one down on the 1-yard line. And already mentioned Chris Tootle's onside kick recovery. With that, looking forward to the first of 3 in-state games for us in conference, and opportunity to go play a very good Duke football team. You know, Mike Elko, I've known a long time, have a great amount of respect for, and he's done a great job. They have a really good football team. They're a stout defensive front. They're very well coached on defense. They know their system, you know, and the ins and outs of it. They do a lot of exotic things on 3rd down. Good blitzes, good bluffs off their blitzes. The kids understand what they're doing, and they're well coached. and they're one of the better teams in the country at getting the ball back. Last year they led the nation in forced fumbles. And so we have to do a great job of taking care of the football and protecting it and protecting the runners with blocking and the quarterback with protection. And it's going to be a great challenge. Their front does a really good job. Their line stunts with their four-man rush packages and different things that they do. Offensively they've been balanced. Not sure which quarterback's playing for them, and have tremendous amount of respect for Riley. Man, what a difference he's made in their program. Their tailback, Jordan Waters, thick, strong, has good balance, vision. The receivers, slot Calhoun and the outside receiver, Jordan Moore, number 8, are both really good players. And our offensive line's played well. I know they were missing their left tackle. Sounds like he's going to be back, and he's a potential first-round draft pick. So it's a really good football team, and excited to play. He's done a great job there, and I haven't been to Duke in a long time, so look forward to playing them in their stadium. I know our guys are excited, and they're coming off a bye week, so we expect them to probably be pretty rested compared to us. But I know the team coming out of the locker room was excited, not just to have the win, but to have an opportunity to go play such a good team this week. Questions?
Corey?
Dave, we've seen KC in a pretty quick time become a guy that's a potential #1 wide receiver for this team. What have you seen from him in terms of his growth? And you talked about, obviously, Caden Newcastle having the shank earlier this week, but he also dropped the ball early on in the game and bounced back with 2 touchdowns in that one as well.
Yeah. He's just getting better each week. He's very comfortable in the offense. I think just fundamentals, improved as the season went on. You saw, a couple of his drops were him looking to run before he completed the catch, and those are things that happen if you don't finish the process of catching the football. And the thing you love about KC is that he's a fast learner. When he does make a mistake, he makes it full speed. He learns from his error. He's very competitive. He's one of these guys that doesn't want to repeat mistakes, and those are the kind of guys you like to coach. Obviously, he's a talented runner with the ball as well, and I liked, the game plan to be able to get him the ball in more ways than one. Sometimes you can put things on the board, hey, we're going to throw it to him here, throw it to him there, and it doesn't always work out that way based on how they cover a guy or double team a guy, or maybe just the pass rush doesn't allow the quarterback that opportunity. And that's happened. It's happened to several players in our offense, this year. And so I thought Coach and I and the staff did a great job trying to find ways to get the ball to him, to Julian, and we have to continue to do that with Keon as well. So, this offense is evolving, and as it does, so do the players. And as you mentioned, you're seeing KC be a guy that's hard to handle.
You answered my follow-up for me, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Rob?
Yes, Dave, you spoke to how Peyton addressed the team. You also, of course, came back to the podium after the game and addressed the fans. What were your thoughts on that? Were you surprised that he did that?
Well, I think you got a chance to hear the pulse of our team. He's the leader of this football team. He's the best player on this football team. And Peyton doesn't say things that aren't from his heart. And so I think, as a fan base or a group of people that got to hear someone, these are brothers in the locker room, and his words reflect how we feel, and I think for everybody out there to just take a moment and really absorb the information he gave them and, try to be supportive of people that are doing the best they can in tough situations. And, I think Peyton spoke for all of us.
Brian Turtle?
Hey, Coach, you mentioned obviously Brian Leonard's not going to play this one week, but not knowing who the quarterback's going to be, how do y'all prepare for that?
Did you say he's not going to play?
Is that what I mean? Is that what you say? You're saying he's not going to, or?
No, I said I don't know if he's going to play.
Okay, well, following up on that then, not knowing who's going to be behind center, how do y'all prepare for that?
Right. Well, we have to prepare for him, first of all, until we find out he's not playing. We've heard a lot of different things, We've heard it's a high ankle. surgery wasn't needed, he's feeling better, and then we've heard that he's not doing as good, and, it's just coach speak. So we'll probably won't find out until game day, so you have to prepare like he's going to play. And then with the backup, there's very limited film of him in college playing, so we'll go back to his high school film as well, just to see what his skill set is. He's got a huge arm, you can see that, not just in the Lafayette game, but his high school film, and the type of runner that he is compared to Riley and how they might use him. So, you just have to prepare for, it's kind of like an opening game a little bit where you're not sure who's going to play at quarterback sometimes and some of your opponents that you have. But I know Riley's a tremendous competitor, and you read about the kid, you see him play, he's probably going to do everything he can to be out there.
Noah,
A lot of people kind of talk about the beginning of the season, there's a big jump for the team between game 1 and game 2. Do you think that's the same kind of with MJ kind of starting, going from game 1 to game 2? And where do you kind of want to see him, grow the noise this week other than, limiting?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I said this in my post game. It's been a long time since he played. When he had his injury last year, he did not get a practice for a long time, and was out during the bowl prep and practiced some. So that was the first time he's been tackled, first time he's had game speed at him that way, since last season. So I do expect him to grow and improve each week. Obviously, the challenge changes each week as well. But the game does slow down the more you play it, and I think that's a real thing. His confidence is exceptional. I was really proud of, how he communicated with his guys, and he'll learn, just like I talked about KC, MJ will learn from the things that he wants to be better at, things that he can do, not just with his arm, but with his eyes, things that he can look at and really put into how I want to respond, how I want to do things, and the timing and the efficiency and all the things that go with it. So, yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I would hope that that's what we see.
James,
Yeah, Dave, you guys had a lot of success with the pop pass. I don't know really how you want to label it. Do you view that as an extension of your run game, a way to kind of help just get your playmakers more touches? How did you do that? Because it was very successful for you.
Yeah, I mean, in that particular game, we ran it a couple different ways, but it's just, a way where you're trying to get the ball in the hands of somebody that's fast, which we have several guys like that are good after the catch, with a bunch of blockers in front of them, and it's kind of old school student body right or left in some cases. In some cases, there's misdirection where the line could be going opposite, right, the pitch. And so, yeah, it's something that Coach and I has done in the past, something that we did a lot of at another school I was at. And just coming out of, the games we had played, we're just trying to find more ways to have explosive plays, and sometimes you can, like I said earlier, you can draw things up, but they don't always have the ability to get the ball there. When it's a handoff or a pitch, however you do it, because you can do that play either way, you're forcing the issue. If you're getting the ball in the hands of a guy that can make plays.
Edith,
Coach, Marshall came into Saturday averaging 4 sacks per game. You guys held him to 2. Just how would you assess the offensive line play?
Yeah, it was better. I mean, having Dylan McMahon in there makes a huge difference. His experience, his talent at center. Like I said, it also allowed Coop to play guard. And for Coop, I think having 2 games under his belt at center and now moving over to guard only helps him. And during the week, obviously the guys up front and really as an offense, we all knew we had to play better around the quarterback, like I said last week. And the O-line took that to heart. We talk about blocking for one more second, just, one Mississippi, like just one more second so the back can have a bigger hole, the quarterback can have a little bit more time to throw untouched, receiver one more step to get open. And so that was a huge emphasis, and it paid off, and the guys did a nice job up front, things we can definitely do better, and we're going to have to. Duke's front is very, very good. They're older, experienced kids. They're thick. They're strong. So we're going to have to do everything we can this week to protect and to create the run game we want to have to be balanced.
Thanks.
Rob,
Yeah, Dave, I think the last time you went to Durham was your first year, and they eliminated the divisions, Duke became an assigned rival. So it looked as though this was going to be an annual matchup. Now, obviously, with the addition to the ACC of the 3 schools, it's unclear. Would you like to see this continue to be an annual rivalry since it's a local matchup?
Yeah, I would love that. Is that right? I haven't been there in that long. 10 years? Wow.
I think you only played them twice, sir.
Yeah, I know we played them during the COVID year, and I thought we played them back-to-back years. Maybe they were both at home. But, yeah, I think having a team 30 minutes from your campus that you never face is kind of strange, So I've said this before. I think it's not just for our school. It's for all the kids that play in the ACC. It's great to have more variety in who you're playing in the league, and you're playing in a conference, over your 4 or 5 years that you're in it. You'd love to have said you played at every school, home and away. And getting a chance to play Duke in the rotation, whether it's every year or, at least every 2 years, home and away, would be outstanding.
Noah?
You guys were able to get Trent Penix, more involved in the pass game this week. So what was it like to see that? And, how does he kind of make it a little bit easier on MJ, having another, target like that?
Yeah. Well, they were both well-designed plays. Coach and I called them at the right time, and Trent did an excellent job, especially on the first one of slipping a defender. And they were protected well so that he could get the ball to him. But, the design of these plays matters. The timing of when you call them, because, they're better against some looks than other looks. And then the execution, and all those were perfect in every case. So, and to answer your question, yeah, it helps when you can distribute the football to more than one guy. Like, you want to spread it around. It makes you harder to defend if everybody's leaning to one player all the time and double teaming a guy or over-under on a guy. That means other people have a chance, and so I know that's something Robert's really trying hard in his game planning to do, is try to get the ball to Julian, to Keon, to Trent, the guys that have shown over the years that they deserve that, and they've worked hard. And so that's the continuation of this thing. And it's been a lot of things happen. You look at the 6 games between the quarterback change and the injuries we've had. The running back position changes, the center. So it's a work in progress. And I think, to see us put up 48 points last week against the top 20 defense, that was great progress.
JC?
You've had some thrilling games over the years where the final 40 seconds mean so much. How hard is it to just kind of keep all the moving parts, together? I mean, we've seen some very high-profile situations in the last couple of weeks where it just shows how hard it is to keep those last 30, 40 seconds smooth.
Are you referring to what happened in Miami?
I'm not going to call it any other program. But, I mean, it just does show that whether it's 10 people on defense or taking a knee on offense, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts.
Games are hard to win, man, and they're precious too. And yeah, I mean, each one of these last 40 seconds of the game has definitely shortened my lifespan. Probably, I don't know, in dog years, 14 or 15 years are gone now because of that final 60 seconds of stress. But our kids are well coached. They understand situational football. We spend a lot of time on the final 4 minutes of games, whether it's us trying to finish a game with the football or get the ball back, which you saw in the Louisville game. Our defense did a great job, back-to-back series of getting the ball back for our offense. We practice that stuff all throughout camp. We practice it during the week. Every Thursday and Friday, we're reviewing game-ending plays. And because when you get to them, man, if the guys don't know what to do, boy, it can ruin the entire day, And so you've got to do a great job. And then you have to communicate as coaches, too, like the timing that's left, how many timeouts are involved, what's going on there. Can we take a knee? Do we need to run a play? There's a lot of thought that goes into that, a lot of communication on the staff, too.
James?
Yeah, Dave, I know at times here, you've been really successful at the end of the first half scoring, putting drives together. this game was really kind of odd. You had one possession where you ran it a few times, you got it back with a minute to go, and then you were really aggressive. How do you balance that? I mean, what factors go into that each week?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, I think sometimes it's just a feel for what's going on with the team. And we were getting the ball back a lot of times at the first play, too, of that drive. Like, you know, sometimes these teams put their dime defense out there. You run the ball thinking that you're running into a light front. You might pop one, right? And then you get TFL, and you're like, well, that didn't work. You know, what are we going to do here? So I think it's a game of percentages, how many timeouts you have left and how you're feeling about your kicker, all those different things. And a lot of it is a gut feel. You know, it is. And I know everybody in the crowd always wants you to go, go, go. But, you know, the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over and give the other side a chance to score before you go in, too. So you have to be calculated in it. And you have to go with what you really feel is going on with your team in that moment, you know, and how they look going out on the field. Are they confident in that moment to go score? I do prefer to be aggressive, but I'm not going to hang our defense out if I'm not feeling like it's a good time to, you know, put a foot down.
Noah.
Kind of touched on it, you know, after the game, but, you know, Mike Brown and Delbert Mims both got going in this game. You know, what was different and kind of be able to open up the run game with the running backs, you know, in this game than, you know, some of the previous ones?
Well, I think it starts with the O-line. You know, those guys did a better job opening up holes for them. They sustained their blocks just a little bit more. And when I say O-line, that's inclusive, you know, of anyone else blocking on the play. They're the tight ends. Sometimes are involved on that. The fullback, the receivers down the field really strained. You know, you'll see Bradley Rosner and Keon and Porter Rooks and guys fighting down the field to help guys. And then the backs just, man, they hit it. When they saw those holes, they hit it. You know, there was no hesitation. So it's 11-man football when you bust a big run. It's usually not just one thing. And it was great to see. You know, it's really good to see in the run game because that opens up so many other things when you're not one-dimensional.
Kate?
Coach, you guys have won each of your games away from Carter Finley this year. Obviously, it's a road game, but a little different where it's not too far from home. Is there any added, I guess, ease knowing that your routine is not going to shake up too much because the game's just 30 minutes away?
Well, it's nice to stay in our team hotel. You know, I mean, there's a routine there. There's a comfort in that. But we have played well on the road, and I would expect our team, regardless of whether we're home and away, you know, to go perform at a high level. I mean, that's the one thing. This team, they're a fun group of guys, man. They really are. And I know they're excited about playing at Duke. You know, nobody in the locker room has had that opportunity yet. It's a team that's gotten a lot of deserved notoriety this year with their win over Clemson and the way they played Notre Dame down to the final. And that was a crazy ending. 4th and 16, they had them, and the quarterback runs for 16 and an inch, you know, to get it, and then they win. So they had that game in their grasps. It's a good football team, and look forward to playing them, you know, in their stadium. I know the environment will be good, and their fans and students have gotten behind them, and so we look forward to that as well.
James?
Yeah, Dave, I did want to ask you about your D-line. I know you talked a lot about what you're getting from Davin Van and CJ and Savion, but it really feels like that second group, there's not much drop-off.
Yeah.
Discuss your depth up there.
Well, I think, you know, first thing, Red Hibbler has really been a factor for us, you know, as a pass rusher when he comes in the game, and he's getting to the quarterback, he's forcing fumbles, he's creating havoc. Brandon Cleveland, I thought, played really well when he was in there, him and CJ, that rotation. And then Noah Potter's just a strainer, man. He plays so hard, you know, when he comes in the game. And Travali Price plays so hard, you know. So there's a 7-man rotation for those 3 spots, and the guys are keeping each other fresh. And the disruption continues to be effective. And the different guys that coaches bringing on blitzes have also, you know, come the right way. You know, we talk about blitzing in a certain way. You know, it needs to be violent. It needs to be just attacking, you know, and downhill and being able to get off blocks and jump over people. And so there's just a demeanor to it. And I like the way those guys are playing. I mean, I'm super impressed with the strain and disruption, Davin Van and Savion and CJ. And then there's just a standard of play in that room now. Like, if you're going to take reps from them, you better come in and deliver. And the guys are really responsive in that way.
It feels like that front, you've got a little more versatility where you don't maybe have to blitz as much because you can get that pressure maybe more than in the past.
You know, I don't know. A few years ago when we had Daniel Joseph and Levi Jones, we didn't blitz a lot that year, and those guys were very productive as pass rushers. I think definitely more after that group left, we've, you know, haven't had the same ability maybe in a three-man rush that we have now. There was multiple times in the game Saturday where there was one play in particular, Savion and Davin were both double-teamed. They chipped with the tight end on one side and they slid the other side, and both of them split the double teams and met in the backfield on the QB. I mean, that's just awesome strain by two guys, you know. And so I think our defense is one, James, that we can't be one-dimensional. You know, like what we do, it has to be mixing it up. You know, we're stunting, we're blitzing, we're showing, we're dropping 8, we're bringing guys, and it's just a constant make you think after the snap, if we can, not before, on what's coming and where it's coming from.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Jaden.
Can you give an update on Raheem Ashford?
Yeah, unfortunately, Raheem is out for the year. Knee injury, got, you know, flew into the side of his leg, and can't go into the specifics of it, but it's going to require surgery, and felt so bad for him. Been through a ton this year, obviously, with the hit at UConn and now this. So football's a great sport, and it's also a tough sport when it comes to injury. It is. And so that one hurts. You know, it's the second safety that we have now with Jakeem Harris. The other one being out for the season. That depth chart has really shrunk. What started as a really good 3 deep has been reduced, and so more on the other guys. But, yeah, prayers towards Raheem for sure.
All right, looks like that's all the questions.
All right, thank you.